Welcome to Nav Classes. Today we are going to discuss how to measure human resource management's team performance. So there are several ways to measure them, like human resource matrix, balance scorecard, and this one is evidence based HRM. Under evidence based HRM, managers require to get evidence as they are providing their services. Then they have to get some evidence out of them that their services are going in correct manner. So philosophical and programmatic approach to the management of human capital. So what is human capital? Human capital is KSAS: knowledge, skills and ability. So it focuses on the impact of management practices on observable financial and organization outcomes. So they want to know if they are providing certain training programs or they are recruiting certain employees in organization, then there must be some financial benefit or organizational outcome benefit in term of sales, etc. Okay, so the evidence must be there. Okay, if you didn't subscribe yet, then please do subscribe first and like my video if you like it. Okay, so here we are going to discuss HR matrix. What is HR matrix? These are indicators that enable HR to track and measure performance on different aspects and ultimately predict the future. However, not all HR metrics are created equal. It means all HR metrics do not provide a good answers to question about its financial aspects. So there are certain HR matrices which provide nice information. So today we are going to discuss certain examples as well. Okay, so this is my blog. Here you can get all these notes. Now if you have some suggestions, additional suggestions, then you are welcome to suggest some more examples on HR matrices. So we are going to discuss what is importance of HR matrices. This is very important because it allows organization to make connection between the value of what HR is doing and outcome of business. If HR professionals do not measure their functions effectiveness and providing decision making leader the data they need, HR will continue to be undermined and eventually sidelined when it comes to having a seat at the table. Okay, HR capital is also very important to organizations because they are the people who are actually working for the organization. They are human resource who are working for organizations. So it is very important to consider them and to increase their KSAs, knowledge, skills and abilities to build HR managers and organization as a whole great. Okay, so before HR matrix, when there was no HR matrix, many of HR activities were very difficult because they were qualified, and to extract data from qualified sources it becomes very difficult. Okay, so just because of HR matrices, now today we are able to quantify all HR data. For example, if we take the example a decade ago, if someone looks for turnover rate, why people are leaving our organization, by performance category, it could take 2 week project. So just because the lengthier process of qualifiable process, then it becomes very difficult to analyze such data. So just because of HR matrix we are able to quantify all data. Most importantly, matrix enable leader and decision makers in organization toward more efficient and better delivery of HR services. There are certain software which are available in the market, and organization can take them into consideration so that they will be able to get all data quantifiably and easily. And there are also certain outsourcing organizations to whom we can outsource our HR matrices. So there is softwares like HRIS system, like Workday, Successful Factor, Oracle HRs are some example of such softwares which provides some strong reporting tool within the system to reflect cost of people. So how cost per people is incurring and whether this is okay or not as per our managers. While talent acquisition system like Talio, etc., there are several softwares for talent acquisition system which provides insight in recruitment cost. Okay, so if HR department want to create data around organization insight and engagement culture, journal in journal the opening of employees, softwares like field rate, it is for business intelligence, or beekeeper, more focused on communication of people or employees and managers, how they are providing their valuable inputs. So it is very important for communication base, can be used especially if there is need to reach employees who have no corporate level addresses. For example, employees are not having such certain email addresses, even then we can quantify such data and we can collect such data just because of certain softwares. For the most part, HR professionals in many companies probably don't need to purchase additional software, okay, or to create valid metrics. So there is no need to create certain softwares or purchase certain softwares, just they can use certain tricks and know where to look and how to extract the data. There is no need to outsource such matrices, so HR should be capable much to collect such data and extract the data so that they will be able to analyze such HR matrices. Here I am considering certain examples for HR matrices. Like, what is HR matrices? Here we consider that a set of quantitative performance measures. How we can quantitatively measure the performance. HR manager can measure the performance used to assess their operations, how their operations are working. For example, of HR matrix, cost per hire. If we want to check out the cost per hire of employee, then we can consider advertising, agency fees, employee referrals, travel cost, relocation cost, recruiters pay and benefit divided by number of hires, then we will be able to get cost per hire. So this is the great example which is widely used by managers. Then another example is of healthcare cost per employee. If organization is providing healthcare facilities to their employees, then how do we calculate whether it's good or not? The cost of healthcare divided by total number of employees. So we will be able to get the healthcare cost per employee. There is another example for HR expense, that HR expenses are divided by total operating expenses, operating expenses of company as a whole. So we will be able to get HR expense factor out of it. Then there are certain more examples related to recruitment only, that time to hire, how much time it took to hire employees. So it is very important. And then there is cost per hire, total cost of hiring divided by number of employees, we already discussed about it. Then there is early turnover, why people are leaving our organization, percentage of recruits leaving in first year. So it is important why people are leaving our organization. Then time till promotion is also important. Rather, straightforward matrix is useful in explaining why your high potentials are leaving organization, why your employees who are who are having great potential are leaving your organization. Then there are certain more examples related to revenue, that revenue per employees, revenue divided by total number of employees, is an indicator of quality of hired employees. Then performance and potential, it is 9-box grid. Here 9-box grid is made for measuring and mapping of both individuals' performance and potential in 3 levels, like underperformers, valued specialists, emerging potentials, or top talents. So the matrix is great for differentiating between, for example, wanted and unwanted turnover, why such great performers are leaving our organization, or why underperformers are leaving our organization, so that we can keep them with our organization. If they are very great potential, if they are having top talent, then we should keep them with us. Then there is billable hours per employee. So it is example of performance measure. It is especially relevant in professional firms like law and consultancy firms. So it benchmarks its metrics with different department of organization and can also provide valuable insight. So here we are benchmarking these metrics with different department of an organization. Okay, then there is engagement rating. An engaged worker is productive workforce. Engagement might be a most important soft HR outcome. It is very important that engagement is soft HR outcome. People who like their job, that some people think that their job is very good and they're proud to be in the company, but are leaving our organization. Why such people are leaving our organization? There is some stressful or high pressure on them, so there is some stressful environment in organization. So why these people are leaving? If they finding that their job is very good and if they are getting proud in working in such companies, so why they are leaving our organization? So here we consider engagement rating. Employees performance better and more likely to perceive stress as an exciting challenge, not as burden. Additionally, team engagement is important metrics for team manager success. Then there is cost of HR per employee. Okay, for example, we consider them in dollars, like $600. So we express this in cost in rupees or dollars. Then ratio of HR professionals to their employees. So if the ratio is lesser, for example, an organization with fully developed analytical capability should be having a smaller number of HR professionals do more. It means if ratio is 1:60, then in other case the ratio is 1:20, then which will considered great, which will consider perfect? The 1:61 is better than 1:20, because there is one HR person who is leading, who is able to tackle 60 workers. So this is better if the HR person is able to handle more employees at one time. Then there is turnover, number of leavers divided by total population in organization. Okay, so this matrix also provide HR business partner with great amount of information about departments and functions in which employees feel at home. Then effectiveness of HR software. If we are providing such certain software to measure our HR matrices, then how effective that software is. Effectiveness, for instance, learning and development software is considered, are measured in number of active users, average time on the platform they are providing, they are able to give how much time, session length, total time on platform per user per month, screen flow, and software retention, how far they can retain certain software. This metrics enable HR to determine what works for employees and what does not, so they can use certain things which are working in future session as well. Okay, then there is absenteeism. Absence percentage, like turnover. There is absenteeism is also strong indicator of dissatisfaction and a predictor of turnover. If people are more absent, then they intend to leave our organization. So as you can see, there are a lot of different examples of HR matrices. While some metrics are easier to implement than others, all of them provide insight to workforce and HR. Combining these insights will prove vital for making substantial decisions with proven impact. So here we end up with our today's lecture. We understood all about HR matrices with lots of examples. So what is HR matrices, etc. So next we are going to discuss about HR scorecard approach. What is HR scorecard with example. So keep watching Nav classes. If you didn't subscribe yet, then please subscribe and share my videos with your friends on Facebook, etc., so that they can also come and become the part of Nav classes. Like my video if you like it. If you have any query, just comment on the comment box. Thank you.